Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Hey! What's up? All you chitlin wangs, you skitlin pops, and your scoobly weebada boo bops. Starting to look like bone thugs up on the real rush, real rush. Zip it up on the 40, how we gonna chill on the real rush. Chill with my homies, girl, we watching on the top in the real rush. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna get Bone Thugs to do my next Rush theme song, y'all. You heard it here first! Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Who the fuck is ready for the real rush today? Hey! Bang your head to the opening riff!
Shut up and sit down.
You know that if I'm starting off the episode sipping on the Pepsi, then this episode gonna be good than a motherfucker, y'all. Welcome back to the Real Rush for today, tonight, this afternoon, whatever time this new episode be bestowing itself upon your visual cortexes out there. This one enhances me to say welcome to episode 96, y'all. The old 96er. Doom, 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 doom. Who's gonna step up and eat the old 96er tonight? Who's gonna step up and eat all that meat tonight? Doom, 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 doom. Is it gonna be you, John Candy, or Dan Aykroyd? Whichever one it is, you're gonna have a hemorrhoid. We're brought to you by Preparation H. Episode 90 fucking 6, y'all. And I am your man, the movie champion, up in this bitch, John Dub. And you know what? We got a little bit of movie news to bring to y'all here tonight before the massive, I think, virginal massive amount of movie reviews that I got for y'all this episode. A little bit of movie news. But first off, how are y'all doing? How is everybody doing? We officially at the midsummer point, I suppose you could say, as it is. What is this? It is Saturday, July 25th, 5 minutes till midnight, into Sunday, July 26th, as we film this right here. So how's everybody doing? You know, we officially at midway, some point. Feel like summer? Yeah. Still feel like summer? Yes, no, maybe so. Just kind of chilling. But if you're kind of chilling, it's just like your boy here. You may be getting a little bit too many of the munches, just like your boy here, resulting in the sudden cankles. Yeah, that shit's no joke. Gotta watch your intake, y'all. Anywho, a little bit of movie news. I don't know what that had to do with movie news, but we here together. We here together, getting through this shit, y'all. Eventually, we gonna get back to movie theaters, it looks like. Eventually. AMC has rescheduled their joint till mid to late August. Regal will be announcing a new reopening date soon. They don't say how soon, but soon. No word from Cinemark. So, because of this, actually, this is due to release dates being delayed yet again. And this is not good news, y'all. So, well, this ain't good news. It's gonna lay that out for you right there. What you're about to hear is not good news. Unhinged was supposed to drop on July 31st, which was the day that Regal was supposed to reopen. That would have been this coming Friday. Holy shit. That has been moved to August. However you say question mark, but without actually saying the word question mark. I've always wondered that my entire life. And fuck it, I'm gonna just throw it out there. My entire, like, when I was a kid, I would always give it the that was question mark. Complete with the one more time. Question mark, bitch. That's what it was. So that's Unhinged for you. Mulan and Tenet. Throw them both up there because they both fall in the same category. We're both supposed to drop in mid-August. The prior dates are not necessarily insignificant, but fuck it, we're just going to say that they've both been delayed indefinitely. Indefinitely. We don't know when the hell they're going to drop. I knew something was up when I was looking at the list of films for this year, and they were nowhere to be seen. There's still some other upcoming ones on the list, but with these being delayed indefinitely, what's that going to mean for upcoming things? I mean, this is affecting the states of theaters, like the actual state of the actual theater chains reopening and so forth, which of course are being affected by the current state of things. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. But some good news amongst all this. Cinema Arts in Fairfax, amongst everything, is offering deals on everything that they have to offer. That's down to what they have to offer on the menu. They still have your kitchen open, so any of your favorites from Cinema Arts Fairfax that you would like to go out and get, they're offering curbside pickup. They're offering certain movies via their website, as we've mentioned in episodes before. It's been a minute, but we've mentioned in episodes before they're offering movies. Same as the Angelica, a la their website. And if you view the movies a la their website, they get half of the portion out of Cinema Arts or Angelica, whichever website you watch the movies through. Support movie theaters. Hashtag support movie theaters. Support hashtag support local theaters. God damn. But the cool thing also, throw this up there. Cinema Arts is offering deals on private screenings. I don't know if you can read that shit or not, so we just gonna pop it up. You can book a private screening there for 125 people, for up to 12 people, paid in advance, $10 for each additional person. I'm sure that that's going to be, I don't know what the limit is right now on how many people you can have in a closed room like that. But you can watch any DVD, Blu-ray, or CD, whether it be your favorite movie, a work project, or home videos like birthdays, weddings, or graduation. Call us if you have any other media, and we'll see what we can do. Yo, so that's pretty cool. I guess they're booking maybe future screenings, perhaps, but it's worth the shot. 703-978-6853 to get some info on that. Get some more info than what's offered on the website, but of course you can also visit their website at Cinema Arts Theater. That's theater, TheAtre.com for that shit right there. Cool shit. So that brings us to the 6 movies that I got viewed and reviewed for y'all for this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Which is crazy, right? Because at the end of episode 95 last weekend, I said I was going to have 2, maybe 3 movies viewed for y'all. And those 2, maybe 3 became half of this episode's Real Rush ticket. Boom. We blew our shit up, baby, because we stay on the ball. We're on the constant lookout for new shit before we even film, man. Just in case, to make sure that we don't miss shit, man. That we don't miss shit here on the Real Rush, man. We got our eyes on everything. So 6 new movies reviewed for y'all. That's why we filming this shit going into Sunday right now. Which movie are we gonna start off? Kick things off here with tonight. I'm gonna kick the shit off here with the directorial debut of our homie Dave Franco up in this piece. It's a new psychological thriller. Psychological? Is it? Definitely a thriller. Psychological. That's open to your interpretation. This joint is called The Rental. I almost stumbled on that shit because I almost called it Summer Rental. Once again, starring my boy John Candy. I forgot what I referenced about him earlier, but I did say something about him. Didn't I? Who's gonna step up and eat all that meat tonight? Doom, 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 doom. Is it gonna be you, John Candy? I believe so. Anywho. Not Summer Rental, which is a funny ass movie. Rent that shit. Buy that shit. Buy that shit if you haven't seen it. One of my favorite John Candy movies. Yet I digress. The Rental. In The Rental. Starring Dan Stevens and Allison Brie. All is not what it seems. As 2 couples escape to a remote cabin for a weekend getaway. Only to find, well, I should say, since all was not as it seems to begin with, or was it? This is even enhanced by the fact that their awkward cabin owner may or may not be watching them in a voyeuristic manner. Yeah, that's some grimy shit, y'all. Dub ain't down with that shit. Rush does not condone. Does not condone. That's not a digression either, because we were actually talking about that shit. This joint, The Rental, it is the Bombay, son. The Bombay. The plot may sound cliche, like, oh yeah, we've seen this kind of thing before. It does have that kind of, how do you say, old school feel to it. And this is maybe influenced by the whole Franco style. And being an 80s child, late 70s, early 80s, him and his brother. But coming up in that era, you definitely have that kind of influence on you, and it definitely shows. Yet I digress on that. But, actually no, that's not a digression. That leads into what I'm about to say here. I say but, going against the cliche sounding plot. The screenplay is full of left field shocks, some uncomfortable even dialogue between some characters, and as I just kind of described a couple moments ago, the Franco style dark comedy that definitely makes it The Rental a fresh thriller to watch, to catch this shit. Not to mention that it unfolds much fucking deeper than one would expect or think or predict, or if you think you know what's gonna happen, you don't. And even after me saying that, if you think you know what's gonna happen, you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. The Rental, perfect midsummer thriller drop. I don't know if this was supposed to originally come out theatrically or not, but if it had, I would have definitely been pushing to see that everybody go see this in the theater, because it's on that kind of shit, y'all. Overall, The Rental is this week's main event. I needed like a fucking stamp graphic or something for that shit. Like, main event. Like, main event. I have to find a way to fucking blend that shit together. And the main event. We gotta figure that out for this episode. But yes, peep this shit right here. $7, I believe, is what it is on Prime. I could be wrong on that. It's definitely no more, but it's still worth every dollar of it. The rental. Keep it on Prime or whatever. I'm sure it's on any VOD service that is available. But yeah, it's the shit. The Bombay, as I say. The rental. Check it out today. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Now this one's gonna be a little bit not ironic, but unique, I should say, with this review here. Because, as I stated last week, go ahead and throw up the Kissing Booth 2. Boom. This is one of this week's new releases. This is the other of this week's new releases. The other one that we mentioned last week was the rental that we just got finished reviewing. But this is the last week's 2 announced new releases, hence reviews. As I ramble on here, I did mention last weekend, or not even last weekend. We just saw each other a couple days ago. I dropped that shit on Wednesday. What up? Just drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot, motherfuckers. Boom. So, yet I digress. That was a digression. So, Kissing Booth 2. As I mentioned, episode 95 last week. A couple days ago. Whatever. I hadn't seen the first one. Let alone, I wasn't quite shy about the fact that I wasn't quite looking into jumping in to watching the Kissing Booth. Every once in a while, there's that kind of movie that hits me like, yeah, not really ready to drink that one in, but here we go. So, because I wanted to be caught up for the Kissing Booth 2, which did work out to my favor, and I'm going to get to that in the review, I did watch the Kissing Booth. Not the night of. Even though I watched the Kissing Booth as Thursday night's lockdown main event premiere edition joint, since we hadn't seen the shit before, therefore it was still new to us, so that streak keeps going. We're going to see that in every attempt, so that way later on tonight, that night, we would pop on the Kissing Booth 2 as it became newly available on Netflix. But that did not come to fruition. We watched the rental instead, after seeing that the Kissing Booth 2 was 2 hours and 12 minutes long. And we're going to get to why here in a second. And it's important that I stress this before I go into this, because fuck it. We're just going to say it. Because I could only handle one of these movies in one night. So, this is why all this shit's just going to get thrown together. Because this is this is our first ever, I believe, Rush, like, co-review. Where I'm reviewing 2 movies at the same fucking time. Okay, this is a co-review. The Kissing Booth and the Kissing Booth 2 at the same time. And as I was stating a couple moments ago, after seeing the first one, there's no way that I could handle watching 2 of these in one sitting on Thursday night. By the time that it came around to watching the Kissing Booth 2 on Friday night, as I stated in my IG check-in, even that one left, Kissing Booth 2, that one that was left was still asking a lot in one sitting. And I'm going to get down to why. But, is it really all as horrifyingly, painfully painful to watch as I'm making it out to be? Or was that part of my going in bias? Or, was that, just the in-between movie period? Still didn't know what to expect from the second one, yet I digress. The kissing booths. Alright, so let's just break down how it rolls. It's essentially the same movie, and that's another reason why we're doing this shit as a co-review. But right now, we're doing the kissing booth. Alright, so that's easier for me in post. The kissing booth 1, the first one, is about the bond between longtime besties Elle and Lee, who, their bond is possibly tested when Elle falls for Lee's older brother, Noah, breaking one of the rules of their friendship, possibly. Okay, that's the breakdown of the first one, the overall plot. Number 2, now as seniors, the bond between Elle and Lee is possibly tested when Elle, now dating Noah, in a long-distance relationship, may choose a college closer to Noah instead of UC Berkeley, where Elle and Lee have dreamed of attending their entire friendship. Hence, another possible friendship rule broken. Hopefully that didn't ruin anything for anybody, but if you already been on Netflix, fucking Kiss Booth 2 pops up right there at the top, and it already flat out tells you what happens from the shit. But I don't really think that's giving anything away, because we're going to get to that in a second too. But at the same time, in number 2, Elle and Noah's relationship is tested when this new dude shows up at Elle's HS high school. He's all foreign, and his name is Marcos. Fucking Marcos Manuelo Rodrigo Garcias fucking Flores Guerra Virgilio. Like, what the fuck? Y Misterio. Like, what the fuck again? Who you think you is? You just come up here treading on this territory. So, yeah. As you can see, it still got me a little invested in it. So, let's break them both down. And this is mainly, I don't know at what point I switched over to the Kissing Booth 2, but we can do that since that's the main part. Or fuck it, keep them both up, or I don't know how the fuck I'm doing this. Both of them. Together. Overall, and I wrote this part before seeing the Kissing Booth 2. Flat, or maybe even flat out, I should say, 80s romantic comedy that meets a Teen Nick, like Nickelodeon, or Disney, made-for-TV dramedy, meets a young adult Harlequin novel. That's what it is. That's what it is. Apparently the first one caught flack. I didn't really look too much into it, but I did notice one thing, that like the chicks in the movie, at least early on, maybe they like noticed something was wrong with it, so they removed it from the rest of like the screenplay afterward, but they forgot the one little instance. But the chicks were called boobs. Like, that's what they were called. Instead of being called like ladies or girls or some shit, they were called boobs. I mean, if you wanted to even things up, you could have had the dudes be called balls, and that would have been fucking hilarious, yo. Yeah, but that might have upped the movie's value a little bit in my assessment. Yet I digress. Alright, so, once again, both these movies are practically the same. Though watching the first one will help the second one. Some things make sense. Though both are pretty predictable, pretty cliche, and easy to put together, it is seemingly endless at points, and sometimes it is painful. Though, a few chuckles, and a few good moments, everybody, I noticed this part. Everybody but the main two characters. Everybody but Elle, who's played by Joey King, considered like a scream queen these days, and her best friend Lee. Everybody else in that movie, or in both these fucking movies, they look 30. Everybody looks at least 30. Everybody else, all the high school students, everybody looks at least 30. Watch both these movies with that shit in mind, and you'll laugh your ass off. So it does have some enjoyment factor to it. Some shit from the Garden of Eden definitely fucking enhances it. Don't get me wrong. It's borderline sit throughable. I could see that. Maybe it wasn't enhanced by some smokables. I mean, that's more for the second one. That joint, again, that's 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's got a lot of dragged out scenes and just overall shots and whatnot. And overall, for both movies, it's like a late night, mature adult, Nickelodeon, like Teen Nick or Disney, whatever their teen channel is, movie. Boom. Like a late night shit. Like something that is only for fucking teenagers. Like, and they gotta get like permission from their fucking parents to fucking sign into the fucking streaming plus on Disney, whatever the fuck, to watch it and shit. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever they got for privacy or parental control settings now instead of what they use on cable. That shit right there. Yeah. I can see what they were aiming at with the whole mature teen dramedy. And that's one of another reason why I didn't say it was a total loss. Even though, yes, it did drag on at points. Even though, yes, it was fucking like, what the fuck? It's hurting at points. I see who and what and where both movies were aiming for. So overall, while they made not either of them be your boy's personal cup of tea, this one does seem to have, both of them actually seem to have some type of following. Not only did I see that a lot of people had seen the first one and were already looking forward to the second one, but I saw a couple people that didn't even know that there was a sequel dropping as of this past Friday. And I was like, boom, here you go. I'm your movie Aladdin, coming for you. So, fans of the first one, if you dug the first one, you'll definitely enjoy the second one. Is it a rehash of the first one? Yeah, but a lot of fucking great comedies are rehashed, that have sequels or rehashes of the first one, and they still turn out to be pretty good. Is it as good as the first one? I don't know if I could be a fair judge on that. I'll let fans of the one decide on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if the second one, even though the first one got hit with some fucking heated reviews, the second one, with everybody looking forward to it, that I did hear about, wouldn't be surprised if it at least lands in the Netflix top 10. It'd be crazy if it was some dark horse shit and became #1. And there is definitely room for a third one. Not necessarily giving anything away there, but there is room for one. So fans of the franchise should enjoy that part. So The Kissing Booth and The Kissing Booth 2, however the fuck I just broke that shit down. We just broke that shit down. Is playing on Netflix right now. And I need some fucking Pepsi. So fans of that shit, check that shit out. But be right back here in a second for the second half of this show. Sucker, cuz that's what we do on the Real Rush. We do reviews, we let you get up all the views which we don't get many of. But we still high like a dove that's flying through the air. Go inside, and it's keeping its wings flapping tight, 'cause it's got its distance and its view. That's what we got in our view. is the distance, not resistance, is what we gonna have going down. You know what I just figured out is that I sound a lot like Lou Rawls. 'Cause I can bring the bass up from my balls. Maybe I can play him in a biopic, or even in some homemade shit. I'm gonna make a movie about Lou Rawls. That's what happens. Just like WrestleMania, baby. I'm too big for just one night. That's how his lips got fucked up the last time. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the second half of episode 96 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is a movie that, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, we was on the lookout. We wasn't necessarily on the lookout for. We didn't even know that this shit existed until yesterday, or Friday, I should say, at this point, when we did our little last checkup of streaming services, just to see if there's anything else that we missing here. This is one of the joints that ended up on Prime Video Cinema. This joint is called Most Wanted. This joint got Josh Hartnett up in the joint, yo. Yes, I just said joint up in the joint. That's how hardcore. I was like, yo, this got Josh Hartnett up in it. Where the hell has he been? I don't remember seeing him in anything as of late. Do you? I've seen a lot of goddamn movies in the last 3 years. No one can contest that fact. I forget what the now count is on that, but we're now over 400 reviewed here on The Real Rush. Anywho, Most Wanted. So this is based on a true story. And this tells how an investigative journalist, played by one Josh Hartnett, dug to uncover the truth about the Canadian feds', I believe that's the correct term of how to, yes, you know what I'm talking about their involvement in subsequent cover-up of a botched drug bust causing an innocent junkie, or as Seamus has been pronouncing as of late, junkie, to land in a Thailand prison. You don't want to fucking go to prison in some American prisons in the United States. You definitely don't want to land your ass in no fucking Thailand prison, especially for something that you may or may not have done. And this is a potential life sentence, or maybe even a death sentence for this young man. So it's up to Josh Hartnett to get, the story out in time to save the, profess this man's innocence. Or is it innocence? Yeah, it's one of those kind of journalistic thrillers here. So in this movie, once again, you got Josh Hartnett, you got Antoine Pilon. I'm going to pronounce his last name. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Stephen McHattie and Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan's up in this in one serious 180 to, as you know, Jim fucking Gaffigan. Like, this is Jim fucking Gaffigan. Up until this point, you've known Jim Gaffigan. But this is Jim fucking Gaffigan. And it's a much different Jim Gaffigan. Like, it's like when Sting was, back in the day, like, all surfer and running to the ring and shit. And then he became fucking Sting. Yeah, this is fucking Jim Gaffigan's come down swooping from the rafters moment in Most Wanted, y'all. So that being said, he does a fine job in it, as well as young man, we'll just say Antoine. I don't want to mess up your last name again, but he does play the junkie, as Seamus has been saying. So fine jobs by both Antoine and Gaffigan. Overall, this joint, pretty decent journalism thriller. The narrative shifts in it, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, because I do recommend that this is a watch. Could be tightened up some for a better story culmination. The action is not just. I should say. I misread that there. But it is jolting enough to keep the film's momentum going at just the right pace. So that's like the pacemaker is the film's action right there. So overall, definitely peep it. It's definitely one of the best, or excuse me, one of the better conspiracy thrillers of the summer, which means possibly even of the year. $7 rental on Prime. Check it out. Most wanted. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, another joint that we didn't even know existed until we picked it up. It propped up on Prime Video Cinema. We were supposed to peep this shit last night. We didn't peep this until just a couple hours ago. Because after peeping The Kissing Booth 2 for fucking over 2 hours, and then Most Wanted, which is a little over 2 hours. Yeah. Whoa. I want to make sure that I can hold on to this. And I'm glad that we saved this for today's lone, fresh, wake and bake event. This joint is called Amulet. New horror film. This joint follows a former soldier turned dream-haunted veteran. His name's Tomas. He's seeking to find, peace in life, all aspects of life. He offers to help around the household of Magda. She's young, shy, cute. She's the caretaker of her ill mother. However, something sinister is afoot. Yeah, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Last I checked, when we saw it on Prime Video, it had a 4.2 rating from IMDb. I would definitely rate it higher than that. I would give it, if I were to rate it on a 10-point scale, I would give it at least, so that varies, but I would hit it with at least a 7. Why? Because it's visually jarring, but yet it's an unconventional horror film, and it's unconventional even by today's, as I've been saying over the last couple, however many tens of almost hundreds now of episodes, new wave horrors, today's new wave horror standards, in my honest opinion. I'm Ho, I am H-O. It's the first movie to make me audibly shout in horror. Like, not just oh shit, but ah! Like, I can't even recreate it, but it was on some jolting shit, yo. It's the first movie to make me do that shit in a minute, and if that shit ain't enough, this film is brimming over with intense what the fuck moments and brilliant cuts in the editing booth, enhanced by brilliant cinematography and shocking gore that some may find vile or maybe even too disturbing. The ending, for me at least, left some questions. In a good way, perhaps. Open to interpretation. May warrant a second viewing. So I might peep it here again on our ear in a little bit. I would definitely give it a second viewing. So that's definitely worth something. That I would most certainly peep it again. Overall, it's an uneasy horror watch. If you got a little bait going on, then you'll be able to get through it a little bit better. But yeah, it's an uneasy horror watch if you're up for the challenge. So this one is not for everybody. I don't think everybody can handle a movie like Amulet and some of the shit that happens. I just reminded myself of some of the shit that happens in this movie, and it's not pretty. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're up for the challenge, check out Amulet, another good midnight horror flick. This joint is only $7 on Prime. Yes. The rental and Amulet would make a good twofer if you're trying to have your own midsummer horror late night fucking awesome fest. Amulet. Check that shit out, y'all. Which leads us to the last movie on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Got our boy Edge up in the joint. Is he up? Oh, ain't nobody up on this shirt. Shit. That's alright, though. It's got our boy Edge up in it, or as he's known, or as he's building, I should say, Adam Copeland. He's going the Dwayne Johnson route, the Dave Bautista route, and the Hulk Hogan route. Lo and behold, ladies and gents, I give you our review for Money Plane. As you may have seen, as was promoted in one of the recent Edge documentaries. He wasn't actually promoting the movie, but he had like a hat or a t-shirt on that had the movie's logo or something. Yet I digress. So, in Money Plane, a professional thief played by Edge. We're gonna call the motherfucker Edge, alright? Mama named him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. His mama named him Edge, but I'm gonna call his ass Edge. Professional thief who's played by Edge and his crew. They must pull off the seemingly impossible heist of a high-stakes airborne casino. It's on a jet that it's filled with some of the world's worst offenders. So it's like, think of like Con Air meets, it's like the end of Con Air. Like after they crashed in Vegas, but now they pick back up from Vegas. And there's a whole bunch of casino shit on board, and they can bet on anything in this shit because, you know, it's for fucking criminals and shit. So all types of crazy shit is happening on this plane. They're trying to heist some shit from there. Some moolah, some cash, some of that Bitcoin and shit. All types of crazy shit. I don't want to give it all away here. But yeah, that's it right there. Just a fun-ass action movie where you got Edge, once again, starring as Adam Copeland. You got Kelsey Grammer, you got Thomas Jane, you got Denise Richards actually up in it. Short bits, but she's still up in there. This is directed by Andrew Lawrence. Yes, Andrew Lawrence from back in the day, who brothers of Joey and Matthew. Joey and Matthew both making cameos up in this joint, and Matthew's cameo is fucking hilarious. He shows up as the cowboy, went for Matthew Lawrence's cameo in, what's the name of this movie? Money Plane. It's fucking awesome. Edge, how does he fare as, you know, a leading man? I wouldn't call him, you know, give him like top billing status yet. He does have potential. The movie doesn't fall flat on its face. And that being said there, don't let that be a distraction for non-wrestling fans. If you see Edge's picture pop up on the movie, like logo or whatever, on whatever streaming service that you look up, like, oh, that stars a wrestler in it, it's more than likely gonna suck. No. I would actually say that Money Plane is better than most of the actual movies that have been produced by WWE Studios. Kelsey Grammer kills it, as always, but still kills it in this joint with his over the top villainy. Like, this is even more over the top than his Transformers Age of Extinction shit. Like, this is some over the top shit here. Overall, it's fun, mindless action. If you're looking for that for about an hour and a half, I don't even think it's that long. It's like just a little bit shorter than an hour and a half. Wrestling fans, of course, they're easily gonna dig this. But once again, don't let that distract you if you're not a wrestling fan. Once again, I'd still rank this better than a lot of WWE's straight up produced action films. Some of those are fucking hurting. But this one is so good that I was actually thinking of buying the digital copy, but I'm gonna seek out the Blu-ray for this shit. But in the meantime, Money Plane is for rent. I found it for $5 for rent on Amazon Prime Video. Check your VOD service, whatever it may be, and check out Money Plane baby, for AGEDGE. Get you some fucking Money Plane. And that, my friends, is a wrap. I believe so. Yes, for episode 96 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us once again here. Hope this episode found everybody as safe and healthy as you could possibly be. And if you ain't as safe and healthy as you could possibly be, hopefully this episode has been providing you with some much needed infotainment that will infotain your ass while you're on the road to mending from whatever may ail you at this time and shit. Come back and check us again next weekend, episode 97 of The Real Rush up on YouTube. But next weekend, yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be at the theater. So, some of these are still, I think, slated for like theater release, but they're probably like drive-in releases. But we'll see how that goes. If I could go to a drive-in, that would be fucking awesome. I don't know. We'll stay tuned, and I'll tell you how to stay tuned here in a second. Episode 97 looks like we'll be having reviewed for you Black is King, The Informer, Cutthroat City, that's back up on the ticket, and Summerland. So boom, check those out next week here. As always, in the meantime, you want to keep up on Bandits news and other things going on at the Stagecoach Theater Company out there in Ashbourne, Virginia. Check us out, stagecoachdc.com. That is Stagecoach, T as in time, C as in coach.com. And give us a like on Facebook as well. Stagecoach Theater Company. We the ones in Ashburn, Virginia, baby. Give us a like. Check our shit out. In the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that for your boy here, and for The Real Rush, feel free to type those on into the comment section below where you in the middle of this page and whatnot, where you're reviewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who has subscribed to this week's episode, or to the Real Rush shit on YouTube. Holy, thank you for having done so. Thanks to everybody who tuned into this past week's episode that we dropped on a Wednesday. It took us a minute to. That was the episode that was just. That was like the episode that was gonna make it, but it had a fucking mountain climb, and it really wasn't even a mountain. It was just me being like, all right, we'll fucking get to the episode. And then fucking Fatal Affair dropped after. Well, it dropped on Friday, but we didn't know that it dropped until after Monday Night Raw. So it was like, well, all right, well, that's how that shit's gonna go down. So enough of me rambling. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. So thanks to everybody who suddenly tuned in. Because that shit was a big hit, in my eyes, at least, for views, last I checked, with just within the last couple days, for a midweek drop, so thank you for that. But in the meantime, thank you for subscribing to the channel, and you know what, just for the overall support thus far, as we closing in on episode 100 here. If you haven't subscribed to The Real Rush yet, here on YouTube, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. And while everybody's being distant and everything, you can still spread love in various ways. So whenever you go to spread love to everybody or whatever, give somebody some good news. Let them know about The Real Rush. Let them know that your boy John Dubs got some shit called The Real Rush. It ain't your average movie review show, as you've seen in this episode or any other episode. There's all types of random shit that could pop up at any time. So it's not your mama's review show. It's not your granddaddy's movie review show, sucker. That's my new tagline. I'm put on a pimp hat and everything. It's not your granddaddy's movie review show, sucker. Fuck yeah. So tell them that shit. And get them to subscribe and let them tell their peeps and let them tell their peeps and let them tell them peeps. And yes, it's not even a pyramid scheme because I don't make any money off this shit. I'm just here to infotain. So that's what y'all do, and that's what I need to do. And at the same time, The Real Rush does have replay value. Any of now 406 movies that you want to know what your boy Dub thought about and get a good honest to God review of, all you gotta do is go up to the top of the YouTube page where you're viewing, or at any time. Just go to the top of the YouTube page, search bar, type in quotation marks The Real Rush, outside of quotation marks after that, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom! Instant movie review on demand for you, because your boy J Dub and your man John Dub and the champ, D-Dub, and the Real Rush got y'all covered for life, son. And as always, you can follow your man John Dub on Instagram for my live movie check-ins and updates as they occur. And you can follow your man at JDub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, I am your man John Dub. Thank you once again for having tuned in, y'all. Enjoy yourselves out there in Rushland. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay taking care of one another, stay taking care of yourself and everything. Chill the hell out. Don't let everything get you too down. Don't let everything stress you out. You know, do whatever you gotta do to Shanti. Do that shit. Enjoy yourselves, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. Love D-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace out. My nose itches.